Hey guys, Harth here again with another Hunter PvP commentary. This is the Marksmanship video following up the Survival video, which is going to detail hotkeys, just Marksmanship basics, really. I'm going to go over the basics of what I've experienced. Anyone who's seen my Survival video knows what this is. I don't need to do another intro for this. Go back and watch the Survival video if you haven't. This is like the 6th time I've had to do this intro because I keep messing it up. I'm done with it. We're doing this. Okay, so this is on the Battle for Gonais Battlegrounds, and it's a relatively long game, which you've probably noticed. Not to mention I said that in my survival video as well. But I just want to start off by continuing on something I said in the survival video, which was that hunters have a lot of skills. I have more time to talk about this now. First, I would just like to point out that I started off really terribly in this game. I started off absolutely awful in this game. But, I don't know, around 8-ish minutes or so, I'll probably point it out. That time's probably completely off. It starts getting better. I start becoming capable of actually playing this game. I was just off, but let's get into this. So I've got notes written down. I'm going to cover a lot of things. But first, hunters have a lot of skills. We have all kinds of traps, situational cooldowns, a lot of just general skills, and then all of our class-specific skills as well, not to mention trinkets, profession items. You know, we just have a lot of hotkeys to burn through. And Marksmanship has... I guess Marksmanship does have a few more than Survival. You know, we have silencing... Marksmanship hunters have silencing shots. Well, actually, no. I guess silencing shots are really the only extra ability they have. Huh. But we have a lot of skills, and a lot of hotkeys are needed. I've already said this. Scattershot is something personally that I need to make more use of. I know that much. It's on my bars, but it's not something I really use. Tranquilizing shot is also probably something I might need to at least put on my bars and maybe attempt to use once in a while. I do believe you can dispel Hands of Freedom with that, or Hand of Freedom might make dealing with paladins a little bit easier. That is in reference to the upcoming Beast Mastery video, which is just a big mess of a Warsong Gulch. But I'll explain that tomorrow whenever I do the Beast Mastery video. First thing about Marksmanship. Aimed shot is your most important ability. It hits really, really hard, and you have to learn to love it. It's an amazing ability. However, it's got like I don't remember the cast time on aim shot. This is awful. It has a fairly lengthy cast time. You know, it's fairly long, and one of the most important things I've found as a marksmanship hunter is that you really have to learn when to stay moving, and you have to learn when to stay moving and when to sit still and just cast a few aim shots. I have a 2.5 second cast time on my aim shot. Okay. You just have to learn when an appropriate time is to sit still. Right there, I was moving. I made a mistake there. I probably should have stayed over there on the other side of the wagon where I was, and that warrior probably wouldn't have targeted me. In fact, that wagon may have blocked line of sight for him. So there you go, just a small example, which I didn't even realize until I brought this up. So there you go. You gotta learn to move and when to stay still. Generally in PvP you do want to be moving most of the time, but if you're gonna cast aim shot, you have to stand still for 2.5 seconds. So another thing I would like to talk about is Marksmanship gets silencing shot. You have a silence. Use it. Please use silencing shot every chance you get. Healers will hate you, and that is where you want to be. You want to be in a situation where healers hate you. I do believe I actually ballsed that aim shot up a little bit. Aim shot, silencing shot. I missed the cast time on whatever healing spell she was casting, that druid was casting. Let's see, I would like to mention a very important marksmanship talent, which really, like, heavily plays into what abilities you need to cast and when, is improved steady shot. I believe it's in the second tier of the marksmanship tree. I'm fairly sure it is. And when you cast steady shot with this talent twice in a row, that is every, like, even number of casts. Like, you cast it once, cast it twice, you get the buff. Cast it 2 more times, the buff refreshes itself. You gain a 15% haste buff for, I think, 8 seconds, or 6 seconds. I think it's 8. That is really useful. You need to make sure that's something that's up almost all the time. Of course, you know, steady shot is what you use to refill your focus, so you're going to be using it a lot anyway, but I do believe it's perfectly okay to go out of your way to cast steady shot to get that buff, even if you don't need the focus. I thought this was a pretty odd engagement here. I accidentally grabbed that speed boost because I wasn't paying attention, and last I had looked there, it was a berserking buff. So I thought I was about to grab berserking, and instead I grabbed speed, which worked out for me until I met this blade storming warrior. But okay, so marksmanship hotkeys. Looking down at my bars, at my action bars, I have steady shot on 1, aim shot on 2, arcane shot on 3. I don't need to mention every key I have, but you know, all my basic most used abilities are down there, 1 through 6. Then my shift modifiers are the exact same as my survival video. Concussive shot, kill shot, wing clip, widow venom, silencing shot is new. I have multi-shot up there, but I don't think I've ever once used that ability in PvP. Control modifiers, I have scatter shot, flare, mend pet, trap launcher, I have the Z still. Something I didn't mention in the previous video is Q is my goblin racial rocket jump thing. The forward disengage, that ability that I just used on screen. I also mentioned in my survival video that I didn't have E bound to anything. Well, I have E bound to rapid fire. So, yeah, I have it bound to rapid fire in my marksmanship spec, which may explain why I don't have it bound to anything in my survival spec. Not that I have a reason not to have anything bound to it, but I don't have anything bound to it in my survival spec, but I do here, so don't yell at me for it. Okay, I had to stop the commentary because I had a couple of tech issues, but okay, I'm back now. Where was I? Oh yeah, my E key not being bound to anything in my survival spec. It doesn't matter. This is a marksmanship video. What happened in the survival video is in the survival video. I have something bound. Don't yell at me. You'll also notice I'm getting better at popping my cooldowns. You'll see that both rapid fire and the Elementium Dragonling is on cooldown. I still need to replace that Dragonling. I really do. Synapse Springs would have also been on cooldown if it weren't for the fact that it has such a short cooldown. But let's see. Oh, another thing I want to mention probably before I'll just go straight into talking about this gameplay because this is such a long gameplay, is camouflage. It's the ability that a hunter gains at level 85, and it allows them to camouflage. Oh, just to explain my actions here, I tossed down that flare. I don't know if anyone else caught it, but I actually saw a rogue stealthing on that road, so I was hoping maybe he was going to be a little bit indecisive about where he wanted to go, and I could catch him with the flare, but it didn't happen, so that's why I tossed that flare down. I just felt the need to explain that. I feel like someone might not have caught that rogue, so I felt the need to explain it. But camouflage. Yes, camouflage. Level 85 ability. When you use it, it camouflages you and your pet. When you move under the effects of camouflage, like, I don't know how visible you are exactly, but you can be seen. But when you're standing still, I'm fairly sure it's pretty much exactly like a rogue stealth. And as we know, rogue stealth is a very important ability, so, you know, it's nice that hunters have something like that. But a lot of people, like, seem to think that camouflage isn't all that useful, and I guess, you know, they are right, because you do have to stand still to be perfectly stealthed. But, I mean, I guess if Hunters just got a full-fledged stealth, even on a minute cooldown, it might be a bit overpowered. People would complain. Then again, people will complain about anything in the WoW community, so that's a bit of an irrelevant point. But my point about camouflage is that it gives you an opening, or it gives you an advantage in standing still, because you can't be seen. It does break upon whatever first spell you cast, offensive spell anyway, but, you know, if I were sitting here, for example, guarding mines, I often camouflage myself in the bushes or something. Like, I was taking on a more offensive role in this game, so I didn't do that. But if I was on defense, I would usually camouflage myself inside, like, one of these buildings or in a bush or something. And then my opening ability would be an aim shot. That's a free aim shot. Well, it's not free, but it's an aim shot that I can get off without worrying about anyone seeing me. So, you know, I can choose a target at my own leisure, and then take that 2.5 cast time without worrying about them interrupting me. I guess, depending on how much they move, they can still go out of line of sight, but that's irrelevant. That's ruining my point here. It just gives you a better chance to get another aim shot off, because aim shot is an important ability, and you can make use of camouflage to get an easy aim shot off, which is always nice. So I guess for the rest of the game, because this is a long commentary and I'm sort of out of things to talk about that are marksmanship specific, I'll just talk a little bit about the game in general. So this was a really, really tough game. Now, I think, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what is going on right here, but this priest on our team didn't approve of us slaughtering that warrior. I'm not sure what that was about, but he was Alliance. He had to die. That's all I have to say on that matter. This was a really tough game. The Alliance team had a couple of really good healers. They had some really good healers, and they weren't bad offensively either. Like, it was a struggle keeping two bases. You know, we decided at the very beginning that we were going to take waterworks and mines and just try and hold them. But it was tough. I think it really worked because we had really good communication. You'll notice when I open my map, well, okay, not right now, but earlier in the game, we had a stealth druid sort of at Lighthouse watching what the Alliance there were doing, which was very helpful. That was very, very helpful, having an observer. Now, I'm not sure what happens right here. I drop a freezing trap, but it just kind of gets ignored. I guess it got resisted. I just saw that was a little terrible. But that was a failure on my part, but whatever. Okay, I guess it wasn't a failure on my part, but there's nothing I can do about it getting resisted, but like I was saying, like, we had really good communication, and some of us, like, some of the really talkative people in the chat, if you were paying attention to it, me included, even though I wasn't really that talkative, like, we had all been playing Battlegrounds together from the random queues all night long. Like, we always ended up in the same games together. And I think I think the Shaman had been, like, was on, like, a 5-game losing streak. I was on, like, a 2-game losing streak. Coincidentally, we were both in the same games that I had lost. But some of us had all been playing together, and we were just kind of joking around and stuff. So, it kept it lighthearted, but it was a very tense game. It was very close. Well, yeah, it was a very close game. It wasn't that close, but it was a really hard-fought game, and I'm glad, spoilers, that we come out on top. I don't think that that's really that noticeable a spoiler, but we come out on top, and the win felt good. It did. Hard-fought victories are always nice. Here I am considering letting that warrior live, but I see this druid sneaking over to him to do what feral druids do. I was like, screw it. I'll just kill him. And then the priest starts yelling again. I don't know what was going on, but I mean, sorry, he was Alliance. Can't expect him to live around these parts. It's not gonna happen. And this rogue tries to attack me. Somehow does blind really have that kind of range on it? I forgot blind had a range like that. I thought that was like a melee range ability, but either that or there was some kind of odd lag going on there. Which was easily the truth. I also just now realized that I forgot to point out when, like, the game kind of turned around a little bit and I started becoming a credit to my team. But it happened at some point. I'm not sure what was wrong with me in the first half of the video, but I just sort of racked up death after death after death. But it got better. And, you know, the game is pretty much over at this point. It's 1910 out of 2000. So it was almost over. This was just a bit of a marksmanship overview. Beast Mastery is coming soon. Survival has already been uploaded. After that, I will probably just show a video showing my preferred specs of the 3 and glyph choices. After that, I'm probably going to be looking forward to doing some more survival videos, testing out a couple of like various experimental specs. Like I mentioned in the survival video, one involving Serpent Spread. But it was a good game. We won. And thanks for watching, guys.